Hey everyone, I'm Colin Cole, and this is 80% Sports Pro Football Report. I'm here talking with former guys about their experience during Super Bowl week, because that's what we're in. We're in Super Bowl week, ready for the matchup coming up on Sunday. And today I got on the line with me Vonta Leach, who played with the Green Bay Packers, the Houston Texans, as well as winning the Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. So Vonta, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey man, appreciate you. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for coming and joining me, man. So let's jump right into it, brother. Tell me about your experience with the Super Bowl week and how that all played out for you. What that was like, what that whole experience was like for you and your family.
Man, the whole experience was it was unbelievable. It's everything that you thought it would be. I mean, the week leading up to the Super Bowl is the most hectic week. I mean, Super Bowl week is good, but the week leading up to the Super Bowl is the most hectic week. You got to make travel arrangements for your family, tickets, all of that is hectic. You know, all of that is hectic, along with, you know, the new media stuff that you have to do. You're going from having 20 media personnel in your locker room to 300 from all over everywhere every day. It's crazy. You have to talk to them, and it's crazy, you know. And then you put in your game plan. You know, and that week you're really installing your game plan. But once all of this, the dust settles and everything, it becomes, you know, you're living in the moment. You have to enjoy it. You know, I remember our send-off parade. I remember our send-off that we had. You know, they had a big thing downtown for us in Baltimore. There was a lot of people showed up to send us off. We showed up down there before we went and took off for New Orleans. And then New Orleans trip, we try to make it as normal as possible. You know, you hear guys, I know everybody heard this week about the Kansas City barber, you know, he caught COVID and stuff, man. That, you know, we didn't have to deal with that going to the Super Bowl. But guys actually fly their barbers down. Guys actually fly their masseuse down, their massage person, their anything that you have during the year, usually fly them down there for you can have a normal week as possible, because guys have routine. You have a routine that you do week in and week out, and you want that to be as normal as possible. And so, like, it was good, man. You know, New Orleans, we was in a fun city. New Orleans treated us good, and, you know, obviously winning the Super Bowl helped a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. So you touched on it a little bit. This year is going to be different than any other year, man. This is an unprecedented year with COVID, and obviously without the fans in the stands like we used to, without all the media attention that we used to in terms of being on the field or having that access. We're, you know, knowing that your experience, you know, talking a little bit about this COVID situation, what do you think are going to be some of the major changes that we're going to experience in this Sunday's game?
Oh, well, a couple of. Number one, you know, there's not as many media. They haven't gave out as many media passes as before. That's number one. Number two, the access that the media have to the players and stuff. Usually, that we have a set time that we have to talk to them. It's about an hour a day. You have to talk to them within this time frame, and it's usually right before practice or right after practice that you talk to them. Also, you know, you don't know who's going to be playing on Sunday with this COVID stuff. You know, they still got another COVID test going on. I mean, I'm like, wow, you know, we were just fortunate enough to have a football season. Now, the Super Bowl, now you think of the biggest game in your life, and you may not play because of some COVID contact. So that's just crazy.
Oof, that's a tough one. But you're right, though. You're right.
No, just think about it.
There's still a chance that certain guys can miss the game because of that. I know guys would cut off a finger. We know that Ronnie Lott cut off his finger back in the day to play in the game. So I'm sure guys would do that if it came down to that. But you got COVID, there's nothing you can do about it. You just out.
That's tough, man. That's tough, man. There's nothing you can do about it. And then you got to think about, if you the league, let's just say Tom Brady. Let's just say for reference, just to make it a conversation. Let's say Tom Brady get it. Would the league actually pull Tom Brady off the field? Would the league? I'm just asking. Patrick Mahomes. I'm just asking the question, just for conversation.
That's a good question. But I mean, they made Denver play with no quarterback, so it'd be hard pressed to say that, you know, they're gonna try to make a game happen. But I mean, we know the effects of this virus, so it'd be hard for them. Yeah. You can't have them out there. There's no way, and they're not gonna postpone the game. So they kind of
let's just hope. Hey, let's just hope we don't have to cross that bridge. Let's just hope we don't have to cross.
The Denver Broncos hated that they had to cross that bridge. I promise you, these two teams don't want to see that this gonna be like.
Well, that was the regular season game. This is the Super Bowl, the most watched game and the most watched game in the world. That's right. And so hopefully, they're doing all the things within their own powers to make sure that that's not a situation that happens and they have to miss one of the most important games of the season, obviously the most important game. So that being said, man, what was that week like for you? You obviously got the AFC Championship game, and then you go into that first week where you're preparing probably right back there in Maryland, getting ready for getting ready to go down to the Super Bowl site. What are those 2 weeks like leading up to the actual game in comparison? Like week one practicing there and going to the site. What is those weeks like for you? Well, once you leave Maryland, once we left, we already had our game plan in. We already knew what we were going to do. So during that week, when we got to New Orleans, all we do was fine-tuning things. We already had our offense in, our defense in. We were fine-tuning things, going over situational football, And not only that, we was enjoying the moment. When we was there, we didn't have no curfew. You said you're grown. We didn't really have a curfew. So, we treat it like normal. We only had a curfew during the season. We only have a curfew at the night before a game. So made it normal as possible. We were grown. We enjoyed the moment. We enjoyed the city of New Orleans. When I eat, my family got down there, I think on Thursday. They had a big welcome party for your family and your friends, all that kind of stuff. Like, we really just enjoyed the moment. My phone had wrong. Sorry, but we really were just enjoying the moment and stuff. And so, and once the day before the Super Bowl happened, you're like, man, it's really here. Like we're really in the Super Bowl. And then Super Bowl day is the longest day ever. It is the longest day ever. You wake up, you eat breakfast. We usually at the stadium 2 hours before the game. That's max. Super Bowl, we're there 4 hours or 5 hours before the game. It seemed like it just took forever. It just takes forever. You sitting around in the locker room, you're soaking it up, you doing all this kind of stuff. You got to be there, extra security, everything. It's like, wow, I cannot believe this. You just basically just sitting around the stadium waiting for the game to go off.
Mm-hmm. And so you got all that lead up, you got all that energy, you got all that stuff leading up to it. So what, in your opinion, what was the most unforgettable moment of that Super Bowl week as well as the game that you guys played in?
The most unforgettable thing about Super Bowl week was probably, our send-off. So many people showed up in Baltimore for our send-off party just for us to send us off, man. And we were riding to the state. We were riding to the airport. Man, you always have police escorts and stuff. You got helicopters following you. It's like crazy, just escorting us like rock stars to the airport, So it's crazy, The most memorable moment in the Super Bowl, my most memorable moment was, I actually caught the first ball, the first play of the offensive possession. I got the first play of the game. It wasn't to me. So it was a pass. So it was crazy. During the week, they were like, we was going to spread out 4 wide, and I was in the backfield by myself. And they said, hey, if nobody don't blitz, you get out. You could get the ball if they drop. Everybody dropped back, and they gave me the ball, 8-yard pass, the first play of the Super Bowl. Little old me from little old Tony Road. Fullback got the first play of the game.
Hey, man. Hey, everybody plays a part, man. Just like that. You played a part in making sure that you cleared the way for Ray Rice and those boys to ball. So, it was an opportunity for you to get the pass. So, hey, man, everybody plays a role in the game, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. So, fast forward, you go through the game. You guys obviously have a huge game. I seem to remember there being a bit of a interesting situation where there was a light failure at some point.
Yes.
That had to be kind of an interesting situation in and of itself.
That was very interesting because we was up at that time. We had just read a touchdown there. We up 21-3. Hey, we finna blow the brakes. We finna blow the lights off these boys. Momentum, everything. We finna beat breaks off these boys. All of a sudden, somebody hit a power switch, the power button. You know how you hit the reset, you play the video game, you hit the reset button? That's what they did, reset. So we sit there, first of all, we didn't know what happened. We're sitting there, we're like, what? First, all kind of thoughts run through your mind. Is this a terrorist attack? Is this, is that? Because you don't know. All you start seeing the lights go out and stuff. You're like, what in the world? What's going on? Then, all of a sudden, they said security. See, what people don't realize, that security was on the field. They were like, hey, make sure everybody good, back up. They don't know what's going on. It was a lot of scrambling down there. That's what people didn't see on TV and stuff.
Right. Wow.
And then when they said the lights come out, it's going to take some time. That was another hour break. That's what made the Super Bowl another long. That was another 45 minutes to an hour break. We just came back from Beyonce just performed. That was a show within itself. I was trying to sneak out the locker room to look at it at halftime. And then we come out, run a touchdown back, the lights go out. So we got another break. Then it took us to did we go to the locker room or did we stay outside? I don't even remember. I think we just stayed out and stretched and stuff to stretch out. But, man, the boys started coming back after then, it seemed like we lost all momentum.
I remember that, man. I remember that they came storming back. Colin Kaepernick and the boys came storming back, man.
They came storming back, and I was like, wow. So yeah, they came storming back, but luckily we held them off, and we was victorious in the end. And you hear stories about it all the time. You hear guys that have won the Super Bowl and stuff talk about that confetti when it fall. This greatest feeling in the world. You can't believe. And I actually got a picture of myself, a frame with me when the confetti fell. I'm holding my hands up in the air and just thanking God and everything that finally did it. This is what you. As you play this game, anytime you play sports and stuff, as you play this game, you always, when you're outside as a little kid, you always dream of yourself as a champion, of being the world champion. That's what you always say, the champion of the world and stuff. And in that moment, I was the champion of the world.
That's right. In that moment, and still, you are still the champion of the world. And I do know that whenever we come in contact, I always see you with that big hunk of metal on your finger. So it isn't past tense champion. You still are champion. So,
you're still going to be a champion for the rest of my life.
That's right. So now we're here in Super Bowl week. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers facing Kansas City Chiefs. What are your thoughts on the game? Who do you see as being an X factor? What do you think is going to be kind of the situation to decide this whole game?
The X factor I think is going to be special teams. Whoever special teams is going to show up and play, whoever has the best special teams is going to win the game. You got your offenses. You got two high-power offenses. All right. You got the two defenses that any given moment the boys can play on both sides of the ball when they get going. Can get after the quarterback. The front seven can get after the quarterback of both teams when they get ready. So it's going to be very interesting. That's why I said the special teams. Brady got some weapons, but Patrick Mahomes got weapons. So I think it's going to come down to the special teams. And I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a shootout like a lot of people think. I think it's going to be a close game, and I'm going to get an edge to Kansas City.
All right. So in that being said, man, I agree. Special teams is always a factor. I think
always a factor.
I think that it's it is what it is. You got your $500 million man on one side. You got the honey badger on one. On the defense. So the special teams gets kind of lost in the whole process. And I mean, honestly, it's not even something that I even thought to bring up before, but it is going to be the X factor in regards to these two offenses and defenses to do all season. So I agree with you, man. It's going to be an interesting factor in terms of what that's going to look like, in the game. So what do you think the score is going to be, man? I think you don't think it's going to be a shootout, which is interesting because everybody else.
I really don't think it's going to be a shootout. I'm gonna give 21-18.
That's a low score. I mean, it's
I'm still a low scoring game.
Yeah, I get that. All right. So if you can name one player, we talked about special teams. If you can name one player that is the key, who's going to come down to winning this game, who would you say?
Whoa. I would say special teams going to play a big part, but if I give it up to one player, you know what? I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with if I got one player, I'm gonna have to go with it. I can't count out the fast guy for Kansas City. What's my guy name? I can't think of it.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a Tyreek Hill.
All right.
If they put him back at punt returner like they do, turn one. But he got to be the X factor on offense. If the ball hit his head, he need to touch he need his hand on the ball at least 15 times this game at the minimum.
I know that I agree. Tyreek Hill is going to be a factor, but we can't forget Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, he missed last week's game, but he got that same kind of speed, that ability to stretch the field. He's shown what he could do on them reverses, and he also played. I saw him returning punts early on in the season, so they got some.
Yep.
Like I'm looking forward to it because I agree with you. It's going to be some weapons out there on that game.
Yeah, well, both teams got weapons though. That's why they made it this far. Both teams got a lot of weapons.
That's right. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you, Vonta, for joining me, man. Thank you, everybody, for joining the show. I'm Colin Cole, and we're looking forward to the Super Bowl, man. We're looking forward to this matchup. It's going to be Vonta says it's going to be a low-scoring game. I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game. We're going to see. It's going to be explosive one way or the other because we know what kind of
I just look for a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. I'm just looking for a good game. That's all I want to see is a good football game.
You and me both, man. You and me both. I'm looking forward to it. So, again, thanks, everybody, for joining me on Pro Football Report. I'm Colin Cole, and I'm joined today with Vonta Leach, Super Bowl champion, still Super Bowl champion. And thank you guys for joining. You guys take care. See you at the game on Sunday.